Sushruta for NEET is now available on the Google Play Store. Try it out for free.
Good morning, everybody. Hearty welcome to JnanaMarga. You are a biology classes. I am Professor G.K Bhat. I am continue now our study of organisms and population. I hope you are seeing this board.
No, sir.
No? 1 minute. Yes, I have not shared the board. Are you seeing it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now let us take up population growth. I have decided one thing to do from today's class. After every 10 to 15 minutes of lecturing, I am asking you what you have studied in the last 15 minutes. I will be asking you just to give the summary of our study of last 15 minutes. Shall I do that? Shall I do that? You have to tell it within a sentence or two. Shall you do that? Vismita,
Yes, sir.
Nadira,
Yes, sir.
Jaya.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, coming to the population growth. The size of a population for any species is not a static parameter. What do you mean by this? What do you mean by this? The size of a population for any species is not a static parameter, means not a fixed parameter, not a stable parameter, not fixed one, not stable one. Why? It keeps changing in time depending on various factors, including food availability, predation pressure, and adverse weather. So you will not see the population of any species to be a fixed number. Sometimes, if the food is not available in that existing place, and they have come to know that food is available more in another place, what they do? They just start moving to the place where the food is available. Or if not, there are more predation pressure. That means more predators are here. Now let us think that there are some frogs, and these frogs are caught by bird. Now frogs realize that here there is danger because a lot of birds are going to prey upon them. So the frogs may hop and go to some other neighboring place where they are safe, and also adverse weather condition. Weather also means if it is too hot, if it is too cold, the organisms migrate from that place, move away from that place. Therefore, at any time, the population of any species is not a static parameter. In fact, it is these changes in population density that gives us some idea of what is happening to the population, whether it is flourishing or declining. What is that? It is these changes in population density. Suppose, let us say that there are only about 100 insects of a particular species. Now, you see that after another 4 5 months, you see that there are 1,000 species, 1,000 individuals of the species. So, the changes in population density gives us some idea what is happening to the population, whether it's a flourishing or declining. Flourishing means increasing number. They are very comfortable there, they are very happy, and declining coming down. Whatever might be the ultimate reason, the density of a population in a given habitat during a given period fluctuates due to changes in four basic processes. Always, population density changes because of four reasons. One, what is known as natality, that's the birth rate. Another one is known as immigration, that is coming to this place from other place. Third one is mortality, that is the death. And fourth one is emigration, that is going away from the place. So these are four basic processes. What is one, natality, birth, two, immigration, that is some animals coming from other places to this place. Third, mortality, death, and fourth one, emigration, that is moving away from this place to other place. These are four of the basic processes always decide the density of a population. Density of the population. Okay? Right? Clear? Okay. Now, I'm just asking you, who are ready to answer this question? Raise your hand. I have just spoke about one particular slide. How many of you are ready to answer this question? Any question that I'm going to ask now on this particular concept? Vishwas? Vishwas?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Which are the four basic processes that decides the population, density of population?
Natality,
Hello?
natality,
Huh.
mortality,
Hmm.
immigration,
Hmm.
immigration.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Like that, I'm going to ask in this class today. Agreed? Namrata?
Yes, sir.
Agreed? Janani?
Yes, sir.
Agreed? Tanusri?
Yes, sir.
Agreed? Chinmayi? Chinmayi?
Yes, sir.
ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀಯ ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತ ಕವಿತಾ
Yes, sir.
So now let us look at it. What is natality? Natality refers to the number of births during a given period. Natality means janana, birth of the baby. Natality refers to the number of births
We
during
can't
a
see
given period.
it.
Natality refers to the right. You can see now. Natality refers to the number of births during a given period in a population that are added to the initial density. You know, whenever a baby is born, it adds one more member to the family. Prior to that, there were only two, husband and wife. Now one more addition, family becomes three members. Natality refers to the number of births during a given period in the population that are added to the initial density. Mortality is the number of deaths in the population during a given period. Immigration is the number of individuals of the same species that have come into the habitat from elsewhere during the time period under consideration. Immigration is the number of individuals of the population who left the habitat and gone elsewhere during time period under consideration. Now let us say that we got 100 Australians to India and 200 Indians have moved to Africa. Australians and Indians. Now, you tell me, Harshavardhan, in this sentence, which is example for immigration, which is example for emigration? Harshavardhan, which is example for immigration, which is example for emigration?
Sir, Australia immigration.
Pardon?
Australia immigration.
Australian immigration?
India immigration. Sir.
Siddesh?
Sir.
Australians are an immigration and Indians are immigration.
Pardon? Indians are examples for immigration. ನಿಮ್ದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ತಪ್ಪೇನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳುವುದನ್ನು ಪೂರ್ತ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಕೂಡಲೇ ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. So I hope you have understood what is natality, what is mortality, what is immigration, what is immigration. Look here, this is a population. This natality, what happens? Increases to population size through reproduction, birth. Immigration increases to population size from external population. Mortality decreases to population size as a result of death. And immigration decreases the population as a result of loss to external population. So this is important. Population size is equal to within bracket natality plus immigration minus within bracket mortality plus immigration. Understood? Understood? Clear? Now, if at all I say, now there is a population 100, okay, 150 natality took place, right? 150 immigration took place. Mortality was 50 and immigration was 50. What is the population size now? Original population size was 100. 50 birth took place. 150 immigrants and 50 mortality, 50 immigration. What is the population size now? Come on. Who is this? It sounds me as Rafa. Hello? Can you tell me?
100.
What I said, original population size was?
100.
How much I said? 100. How much natality?
50.
50. How much immigration?
150.
150. How much mortality?
50.
50. How much immigration?
50.
Now what is the total population? Original population is 100. To this, how much to be added?
100.
How much to be added here? 200 to be added. How much is to be minused? 100. Total to be added? 100. What is the population size now? Can you say?
200.
You said how much?
100.
Why? I hope you understood your mistake.
Yes,
Is it
sir.
clear? Kavita? Kavita?
No, sir.
No? I told you, don't look into this equation. Kavita, I told you there was 100 member population. Originally, population contained 100 members. Natality 50. Immigration 150. That means 200 total addition. Natality birth rate 150 people came from other place, so 200 they came here. How much it become now? Kavita,
Yes, sir.
how much it became now?
200.
100 original population. To this 50 birth rate in this took place, and to this place 150 came from other place. Total 200 members came. 200 addition plus already existing population 100, total it became 300. Out of this, 50, 50 moved to some other place means 100 have to be less than. Kavita understood?
Yes, sir.
What is the now population? 200. Like this, the question will be answered. Now, this is what you have seen. So, this equation you have to remember. Right? This equation. What is that equation? N. How you read this? How you read this in your mathematics? Kanisa? Duty, how you read this? Duty,
Yes, sir.
how you read this? In chemistry, physics, how you read this? Hello? Navya?
Yes, sir.
How you read this? Hello?
Yes, sir.
How you read this? Why you are keeping quiet? You don't come across at all? Namrata? Anyone? Rakesh?
Yes, sir.
How you read this? Why you are keeping quiet? Kanisa? Please tell me. Come on. Do you read this LT plus 1? Hello? Vishwita,
Yes, sir.
how you read this one? Why you people are keeping quiet? I'm not, I'm asking you how you are reading. Oh my goodness, why that all are
Sir,
keeping quiet?
NT plus 1.
NT?
Plus 1.
Yeah. Why you are simply keeping quiet? So this equation is important. NT plus 1 is equal to NT plus within whole square. How you read this? Can you say again? Tell me. Or Rafa? Whenever it is written, bracket within bracket, how
NT
you are
plus
going to
1.
read? Pardon?
NT plus 1 is equal to NT plus V of plus I minus T plus I. T.
Plus? No. How you read? How you represent this bracket? Yes, NT plus 1 is equal to NT plus B plus that I wanted how you are going to read in the general in mathematics. You are not coming across like this? Navya, you
Yes,
don't,
sir.
yeah, come on, you don't come across like this? You read this? Navya,
Yes, sir.
you read this.
NT plus 1 equal to NT plus B plus L minus D plus E.
B plus
B plus I
plus.
minus D plus E.
Then how you, suppose I wanted to tell you orally, not writing on the board, how you make others to write when they hear you? NT plus B plus I, D plus E. How to make others to write B plus E in within bracket? and d plus v is in another bracket, and whole thing to put inside another bracket. How it is taught to you? Anyone? Duty?
Sir, n to the base t plus 1 is equals to n to the base t plus b plus I minus d plus e.
Now, how they say about the bracket? How they make you to take down within bracket?
Whole of.
They say bracket itself,
They say bracket.
square bracket.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So I thought that there must be some other method. Okay, right. So this equation you have to remember. You can see from the above equation that population density will increase if the number of births plus the number of immigrants, that is B plus I, is more than the number of deaths plus the number of immigrants. Otherwise, it will decrease. Under normal conditions, births and deaths are the most important factors influencing population density. Under normal conditions, birth and death are the most important factor influencing population density. The other two factors assuming importance only under special conditions. Generally, you do not come across immigrant and immigrant. Rare. But birth and death is a common. So generally, population density is affected by birth and death rather than people coming from some other place to here or people going from this place to other place is comparatively rare and it takes place only under special condition. For instance, if a new habitat is just being colonized, a new habitat. Now let us say there was no population at all, a new habitat. Now just like people are interested to go to moonland. As such, now on the moonland, there are no human beings. If all people go to moonland, that is, as far as India is concerned, it is immigration. Or the world is concerned, it is immigration. Moonland is concerned, it is immigration. For instance, if a new habitat is just being colonized, immigration may contribute more significantly to population growth than birth rate. Now, let us think that to Udupi proper, about 4 lakh people 4 lakh people from Canada have come. So, as far as Udupi is concerned, 4 lakh is immigration. Canada is concerned, 4 lakh is 4 lakh is 4 lakh is Sarottam, 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 Sarottam,
Yes, sir.
Sarottam.
Immigration, sir.
4 lakh is immigration. Right? Now let us look at the growth model. Does the growth of a population with the time show any specific and predictable pattern? Can you expect a growth of a particular population? Any specific and predictable pattern? Can you expect? Can you think about that? We have been concerned about unbridled, uncontrolled human population growth and problems created by it in our country, and it is therefore natural for us to be curious if different animal population in nature behave the same way or show some restraints on growth. Now we are bothered. We are bothered about the uncontrolled human population growth. Right? Uncontrolled human population growth. Therefore, your parents have taken measure to see that you are only 1 or 2 siblings. In most of the family, it is only 1 or 2 siblings. Why? Because you wanted to control the population. Right? Okay. Kanisa, Rafa,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Rafa,
Yes,
Rafa.
sir.
Do you know how many children I have?
No, sir.
No. Jyoti?
No, sir.
No. Prathviraj?
No, sir.
Oh, you woke up? Please don't be irregular to the class. Okay? No. I have only one child, one daughter. I have only one daughter. Prior to getting married, I have told that girl, I am going to have only one daughter or one child, whether it's a boy or girl. If at all you are accepting for that, then we shall marry. Otherwise, no. She agreed for that. Why I have bothered about one child? I was NSS officer, National Service Scheme. And I wanted to teach my students about the population control by following myself. If at all I have 4 children, do I have any right to tell to my students about family planning, about controlling population growth? No. I have only a daughter. I have told even my wife also. Whether it is going to be a daughter or a son, we shall have only one. Whether it is going to be a daughter or son, we shall have only one. Why? Because I wanted to give her best education. Whatever she wanted, I should give to my child, and that was my plan. So we have been concerned about uncontrolled human population growth and problems created by it in our country, and it is therefore natural for us to be curious. Now, when we are doing that, fortunately, because that I have gone for one child policy, good number of my students are following it. Good number of my relatives have followed it. So whenever I ask my students, hello, how are you? Where are you? What are you doing? How many children? If you know, they say one. Is it only one? Many times the students used to cross question me, sir, are you telling? Are you asking us only one? You only told us to have only one? Am I right, Navya? Navya,
Yes, sir.
how many brothers sisters you have?
One.
You are the only daughter?
No, like I have a younger sister.
Younger sister. And most of your family, you are only one or two. Very rarely, 3 or 4. Why I am bothered about that much? You know, for your information, when I was born as a child to parents, my parents, they had 4 sons and 4 daughters. I know the problem that we face because of this big family. And those are the days, my neighbors and all, my neighbors, some of them had about 12 members in a family, 10 members, 14 members, very common. Immediate neighbor of mine, immediate neighbor of mine, you know, in his family, there are only, he had only 24 children. Only 24. With the first wife, he got to 12. When that first wife died, he got married to another woman. He never wanted to do any injustice to that woman, and he managed to have another fellow from that second wife also. Total 24. I was born and brought up in such a big family. I have seen what is the problem faced by all my peer group, other friends and all. That's why I decided it should not be the case with me. Now, if at all that is the case, my dear students, is it that in the nature, animals also bother about that? Is it that your dog is concerned about its family? Cat is concerned about its family? Perhaps we can learn a lesson or two from nature on how to control population growth. Understood? Each and every species, remember in the nature, they have their own way of controlling population growth. Controlling population growth. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Shall I go ahead? So what is the message I have given to you from this letter? After getting settled in life, after getting married, how many children we should have? Namrata?
One, sir.
One. Or I advise you, you can go for two if you want, just like Namrata and Trisha. Trisha is the sister of Namrata. So that you can have at the maximum, how many? Rakesh. Rakesh.
Yes, sir.
How many? What are you doing? You are not listening at all. What I have written is Pratiraj.
Sir,
What I have written is
1 to 2 children, sir.
okay. One or two children. One or two children. Don't think that this is something which I am teaching unless unwanted, not relevant. It is relevant. Explanation. Resource, food and space, availability is obviously essential for the unimpeded growth of a population. When the population grows, it always, every animal is bothered about food, about space. No. Is it or not true? If these both are available in plenty, is it not that every animal goes to produce as much as it can? I told you just to have one or two children. Why? Why? Why I have told you to have only one or two children? Come on, do you tell me? Why? Vishwita, why I suggested to have only one or two children after you got married?
To control the population growth.
Why you should control population?
Sir, there will be scarcity of natural resources.
Yeah, if at all everyone, instead of going for one or two, even if they go for 12, if these children also when they grow, they go for 12, what will be the problem? The problem will be there will be scarcity for the food to eat, for the space to live. Suppose it is not a problem. You don't have any problem to get the sufficient food. If don't have any problem to get the sufficient space to live, Harshvardhan,
Yes, sir.
even though you have no absolute problem with the food, no absolute problem with the space, how many children you are going to have? Vishwas? Charan?
Yes, sir.
How many children you are going to have?
1.
Why? You have no problem with the food, you have no problem with getting space. You are telling you are going to have only one? Hello? Why?
10, sir.
But good. That is why exactly, Charan, your friend, your role model, who is this? Who is this? You know him? Charan. You know this guy?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Who is this guy? Have you heard about him? This is what has been done, followed by Lalu Prasad Yadav. Lalu Prasad Yadav, when he got married, he was living in one room house with the lantern, without any light and all, with the lantern with him, one cot, one chair, one lantern. In the single room, bedroom is also same, kitchen is also same. You know, after this Lalu Prasad Yadav became politically more powerful, he ended up with the 11 children. 11 children. It is a small family with only one cricket team. One cricket team. 11 children. Because for him, no problem they got food. No problem they got space. He has accrued that much of wealth by all misdeeds. He accrued that much wealth, even 11 children are insufficient to take care of his wealth. Inadequate. So, Charan, are you there or not? Chinmayi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Whether Charan is there?
Yes, sir. He is saying yes.
What are you doing? Tell him to go for only one and not for 10. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Right. So come here back here. Thus, if the food is available, space is available, every animal is going to have exponential population and geometric fashion. It will always more and more rapid growth of population. This is the case. Every animal, if it has all things is comfortable to that, it will never bother to be there. Why you should bother? Why that one particular animal, your dog or cat or anything, is it that it is so bothered about population control? No. But you can all in the wild, in the nature, when the resources in habit, ideally, when the resources in the habitat are unlimited, resources, that means no problem with regard to getting sufficient space to live. No problem with regard to getting sufficient food to eat. Ideally, when resources in the habitat are unlimited, each species has the ability to realize fully its innate potential to grow in number, as Darwin observed while developing his theory of natural selection. What is Darwin observed? Darwin has stated one particular law that you have studied, one proposal. When everything is favorable to an organism, that organism is going to have as many progeny as possible. Then the population grows in an exponential fashion, which we have already studied. If the population size n, important, you have to have. If in the population of size n, birth rates, that is not total number but per capita birth. Birth rates are represented as a small b, death rates are represented as a small d, then the increase or decrease in population size during a unit time period is written as t within bracket dn bar dt. It will be dn bar dt is equal to b minus d into n. Here b minus d is equal to r, then dn bar dt is equal to small r and capital N. This all you have to know very well. Here, small r in this equation is called intrinsic rate of natural increase. Intrinsic rate of natural increase is indicated as small r and is a very important parameter chosen for assessing impacts of any biotic or abiotic factor on population growth. So R value always depends upon abiotic and biotic factor as far as the population growth is concerned. So now let us move to this. To give you some idea about the magnitude of R value, always ask you should know this R value is different. R value is the intrinsic value which is based on the impact of a biotic and abiotic factor. The R value for the Norway rat is 0.015, for the floor beetle is 0.12. In 1981, the R value of human population in India was 0.0205. Okay, this is what. So this you must always know and you must remember, right? So This is what equation here, population growth curve. I am not going to explain any of this. You may be asked sometimes, write population growth curve, or you may be given some value of this, and you may be asked to find out R value or N value like that. Okay, please know that. If you are familiar with the basic calculus, I am not dealing more about that because I have not learned, I have not studied mathematics at all. You must do yourself. You can derive the integral formula for the exponential growth equation by following this. And you know what this NTNORE stands for. Right? I request you to do yourself this particular part. Any species growing exponentially under unlimited resources condition can reach enormous population densities in a short time. Any species growing exponentially under unlimited resource. Unlimited resource means no problem they got to getting space to live, no problem they got to getting sufficient food to eat, no problem getting mating partner. Definitely, any species growing exponentially under unlimited resource condition can reach enormous population densities in a short time. Darwin showed how even a slow-growing animal like elephant could reach enormous numbers in absence of checks. Now let us look at the logistical growth. No population of any species in nature has at its disposal unlimited resources to permit exponential growth. This is a very important point to be noted. In nature, you cannot say that the elephant will get sufficient space to live, sufficient food to eat. Even if not any particular organism faces sufficient space to live, food to eat, by its own reproduction, it is going to create a problem when the number of progeny increases. This leads to whenever no population of any species in nature, that's important. Remember, no population of any species in nature. You can't say that suppose there is a parakeet in the neighborhood of your house. You can't say that it's a parakeet, gilly. Parakeet will get a sufficient food to eat. No, there is no guarantee. No, it is not possible. Each and every species finds problem with regard to space to live, with regard to food to eat. This leads to competition between individuals for limited resources. Always because resources will not be always unlimited in nature. That is, for any species, the place to live or food to eat, there will not be unlimited resources there. Eventually, the fittest individual will survive and reproduce. What is the fittest individual here? Fittest individual in a sense, the one which is capable of having access to space to live and having priority of access for the food to eat. They are the fittest, and fittest individual always survive and reproduce. The governments of many countries have also realized this fact and introduced various restraints with a view to limit human population growth. I hope I must tell in this particular aspect, you know, in India, are you aware? I think some of you may be children of the government employees. Is there anyone? Your parents are working in a government job? Come on. Anyone? Your parent is working in government job.
Yes, sir.
Who?
Blessy.
Blessy. Do you know that? Okay, Blessy. How many sisters or brothers you have?
I'm only child.
You are the only child?
Yeah.
Very good. God is great. God bless you. Okay. Bless you, I would like to know, at any time you have felt loneliness?
No.
Have you felt loneliness?
No, sir.
No, very good. I must thank your parents. What is your mother and father doing?
My mom's a government teacher, sir.
And father?
Father is a tailor.
Okay. Now you know that in government job, if at all anyone undergoes family planning, they get some increment, you know. Have you heard about that? Through your mom?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. In India, if at all anyone, those are doing government job, If they undergo family planning after having two children, after having two children, they get one increment. One increment means, let us see that one is working, say, with the scale of 20,000. Every month he is drawing 20,000, and every year there will be hike. Say every year, if it on the salary increases by 5%, 1,000 rupees will be increased. If this 22, if one is getting 20,000, in the 23, he will be getting 21,000. This is what is called increment. Every year there will be increment in a government job. If anyone undergoes family planning, he will be getting, along with this increment, he will be getting, when he produces certificate, he will be getting another increment. That means, so if one is one got to 20,000 to 20,000, he had to produce, and he will be getting another 1,000. That means every month he will be getting 22,000 of salary. When one is getting a certificate after having two children, even on one wants to have only one child, he can produce it, and then he will get to two increment. That means his salary will be 28,000 plus 22,000. So this is what encouragement given by our Indian government. Okay. If you happen to be at Canada, this is for family planning, for showing that you have undergone family planning and you are not going to add to the population thereafterwards. Even though you go to Canada, it is vice versa. If you produce one child, you have to show that. If you produce another child, you have to show that certificate. Yes, I got this child born on this day. More the number of children you produce, more will be increment. President, did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there they want the population to increase because in European countries, in the cold countries, that's the problem. They will not get the sufficient children. And even all you decide, oh, I will go to Canada. Okay, there they'll be giving, even though I produce more, they'll be giving more perk, salary. No, they'll give that to their people only, not we people, Indians. They don't give, only for their people. So in this way, the governments of many countries have also realized the respect and introduced various restraints with a view to limit human population, what is called family planning. Right? When it came to existence, when it got introduced in India, family planning, in the year? In the year?
1951.
1951. Very good. Okay. Yeah. Now you know that they are also introducing another bill. Rafa, at what age you can get married?
21.
You know that already it is 21? No. Now it is? Now you will tell. Navya?
Now it is 21.
Navya? No. Now it's 21 for boys.
No,
Girls?
no, girls also changed, sir. Now it's 21 for both.
Yes.
It is not yet passed, yeah. It is not a bill is not yet passed. Navya,
Yes, sir.
who is telling you? Rafa? Rafa?
Yes, yes, sir.
21 is yet to get passed. Now, as such, it is boys 21, girls
18.
18. Okay, so this is also they are trying to increase this just to avoid this population. In nature, a given habitat has enough resources to support a maximum possible number, beyond which no further growth is possible. In nature, a given habitat has enough resources to support maximum possible number. Even when the number goes up, then it turns to. Let us call this limit as nature's carrying capacity. Always ask a question: what is nature's carrying capacity? Nature's carrying capacity is nothing but the habitat supporting maximum possible number with enough resources to a certain extent, beyond which no further growth is possible. Let us call this limit as nature's carrying capacity which is always abbreviated as K for that species in that habitat. For that species, K value for that species. Right? A population growing in a habitat with the limited resources, not unlimited, with the limited resources show initially a lag phase, slow phase, followed by phases of acceleration, log phase, and deceleration, and finally an asymptote when population density reaches the carrying capacity. A plot on n in relation to small t results in a sigmoid curve. This type of population growth is called World-Pearl logistic growth. Always ask called World-Pearl logistic growth curve that you have to explain. So this is what you have. Right? Where we have seen, this we have already seen. This is what red. See? You see? Gradually this. Right? So, in this, where n is called population density at the time t, r is called intrinsic rate of natural gas, and k is carrying capacity. So you must know. Since the results of our growth of for more than one populations are finite, not infinite, and become limiting factor, sooner or later the logistic growth model is considered as a more realistic one. Right? Now let us study life history variation. Populations evolve to maximum their reproductive fitness, also called Darwinian fitness, in habitat in which they live. Every population is very particular of its continuity of the race. The birth is for that place only. Even if I ask you, why that this much of trouble you are taking? You have to wake up early in the morning. Is it not that sleeping up to 7 o'clock, 8 or 8 o'clock till morning is most enjoyable? Am I right, Diti?
No, sir.
Is it not sleeping up to 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock you like? You don't like?
Sir, before, yes, sir, not now.
Huh? But generally, Diti, on the very next day of your NEET exam, what you are going to do?
That time I'll sleep, sir.
You sleep, but at that time you will not get to sleep. Remember, the very next day of examination, you will not get sleep at all. On the next day, you wake up at 5 o'clock only. JnanaMarga. Right? Others you enjoy. Every animal enjoys sleep and food. Have very good food. Of course, now you are troubling, you are struggling a lot. Why? Why did he to get good marks in exam? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
After that, what are you going to do?
Sir,
After getting good exam, after getting performance,
join degree college.
after that,
After that, the job.
job. After that,
I don't know, sir.
you don't know what you don't know. Huh? After that, Duty is going to get married to a handsome boy of her choice. Am I right? You're going to settle in your life. After that, you think about having children. Am I right? This is every animal on this earth is very particular about evolving to maximize their reproductive fitness, also called Darwinian fitness, in habitat in which they live. Under a particular set of selection procedures, organisms evolve towards the most efficient reproductive strategy. Every animal tries to evolve most effective, efficient reproductive strategy. So since we want to give best education to our children, we want to see that they are very much comfortable in their life. Your parents have thought of to have only one or two child, not more than it. Because every parents, it is the responsibility of every parents. It is not just simply making the children to be born and asking them, you look after yourself. It is not correct. As a responsible human being, animal, we should see that our children are better placed than us. At any time, they should not have any problem. That is the mentality of the people here. So, some organisms breed only once in their lifetime, while others breed many times during their lifetime. Right? Some organisms breed only once in their lifetime, like Pacific salmon fish and bamboo, while others breed many times in their lifetime, like most birds and mammals. This is what the salmon fish I might have told you. This is an example for what type of migration? Have I told you? Have I told you that there are two types of migration?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Salmon fish is example for anatomous migration. What do you mean by anatomous migration?
Sea to
Quick.
river. Sea to river.
Sea to river, anonymous migration for the purpose of breeding. And this salmon fish, the salmon salar, it breeds only once in lifetime. And also true about this is true about the bamboo. It also breeds only once in its lifetime. Right? So some produce a large number of small size offspring. Okay, why that? I think I have got all this. Okay. Right, I'll go to the another one. Sorry, I shall change this slide. Have you seen this slide?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this bamboo, it also produces only once. Now, some produce a large number of small sized offspring, like oyster, pelagic fishes. Pelagic fishes are free swimming fishes, while others produce a small number of large sized offspring, like birds and mammals. You know, in birds and mammals, the population, whenever the new born is getting added to the family, you get only small number, but a large size of offspring. So, which is desirable for maximizing fitness. Equally suggests that life history traits of organisms have evolved in relation to the constraints imposed by the abiotic and biotic components of the habitat in which they live. Always the life history of any organism, they are always subject to the influence of abiotic and biotic components of the habitat. Abiotic component includes your all environmental factors like light, temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind, fire, etc. Biotic components are the all with which we are living this life. Evolution of life history traits in different species is currently an important area of research conducted by ecologists. Now let us look at our population interaction. Can you think of any natural habitat on Earth that is inhabited by only a single species? Do you come across only deer species in any particular forest? Do you come across only elephant in one particular forest? No. There is no such habitat, and such a situation is even inconceivable, unimaginable, because whenever one particular species is living in a particular habitat, it wants some food. So it is depending on other species for the food. And it itself is eaten by another species. So there will be a prey for this species, there will be a predator for this species. Therefore, in any given habitat, you cannot expect only one species to occur. Are you understanding my point? Tanusri, did you catch my point?
Yes, sir.
Right? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಮ್ಮ?
Yes, sir.
Okay. At any given habitat, under any circumstances, you will not find only one species. There will be generally three, there must be three species. One species is going to eat another species, that is the food, and is eaten by another species, that is its predator. So, in any particular habitat, you cannot expect only one species to occur. There is no such habitat, and such a situation is inconceivable. For any species, the minimum requirement is one more species on which it feeds. Even a plant species which makes its own food cannot survive alone because it needs soil microbes to break down the organic matter in the soil and return inorganic nutrients for absorption. Even the plant species requires a pollinator. And then it is obvious that in nature, animals, plants, and microbes do not and cannot live in isolation, but interact in various ways to form a biological community. Whenever some organisms die, they are acted upon by this bacteria and fungi, and this dead body undergoes to decay. Thereby, organic content is converted into inorganic content and it is available out to the plants. Plants make use of this inorganic content for the purpose of photosynthesis. They synthesize the food, and that food is eaten by the animals. So, in this way, you will come across that in nature, animals, plants, microbes do not and cannot live in isolation, but interact in various ways to form a biological community. Right? Even in the minimal communities, many interactive linkages exist, although all may not be readily apparent, may not be seen. Even in a minimal community, right? You will come across some sort of interactive linkage. They are linked in another one or the other way because both of them are getting benefited. All of them are getting benefited. Interspecific interactions, whenever I say interaction, we do come across the three types of interaction: intra, inter, and extra. So, live alone and like it. Is it possible to practice? Live alone and like it. Is it possible to practice? Come on. Come on. Live alone and like it. Nadira. Nadira.
Yes, sir.
Live alone and like it. Is it possible to follow? Live alone and like it does not mean give up talking to your friends, give up talking to your parents, give up talking to your brothers and sisters, and living alone. Not that type of living alone. Live alone means you have to live alone without taking any help from any other members in the society, in the community, in the habitat where you live. Habitat is the place where you live. Can you follow it? Live
No, sir.
alone and like it. You cannot live alone. Am I right to Blessy? Blessy?
Yes, sir.
You cannot live alone. Why? Why? Why?
Basic needs, sir.
Pardon?
Basic needs.
What are the basic needs? Rafa? Rafa?
Yes, sir.
You cannot live alone. Why?
I need food, money,
You need
place to live. I need food, money, place to live.
your money is different. Money is why? To buy food, am I right?
Yes, sir.
So basically, you cannot live alone because we are dependent on the plants for the food. Am I right? So
Yes, sir.
you are dependent on so many other factors also, both living and non-living. Are you dependent on the light?
Yes, sir.
Are you dependent on temperature?
Yes.
Are you dependent on water?
Yes.
Are you dependent on soil?
Yes.
Yes. So you do come across. Are you dependent on dog?
Not me, sir. Some people do.
Are you dependent on cow or cat?
Yes, sir.
Are you dependent on chick?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. For me, we are dependent on so many animals. Strictly vegetarians for food. Of course, all even though non-vegetarians are also basically vegetarian, they have to go for vegetative food. So there will be what is called interspecific interaction arises from the interaction of population of two different species. You know, you are dependent on cow for milk. Cow is dependent on you for food. So this is interaction. You are dependent on cat to keep your inside house clean, to get rid of the rat, and you are dependent on a dog just to have your property protected. In this way, you do come across interaction between different species. This type of interaction is called an interspecific interaction. So there are three types of interaction. Intraspecific, that is within species. Yourself having interaction with your brother, sister, aunt, uncle, grandpa, grandma, cousin. That's all intraspecific competition. Intraspecific competition is the competition or interspecific interaction is the interaction between members of the same species. Interspecific interaction is the interaction between the members of different species. And this interaction may be beneficial, may be harmful, or may be of no benefit or harm, neutral. So, whenever we go for interspecific interaction, they could be beneficial, they could be detrimental. Detrimental means harmful, or neutral, neither harmful nor beneficial to one of the species or both. Assigning plus sign for benefit, minus sign for the harm or detriment, O for neutral. Let us study a table which indicates you what type of interaction you do come across. Now I am telling we are just studying two population, two different types of species coming together and living together. I hope, let us see before that. What is this otherwise called? Whenever two animals live together, we call them they are in a symbiotic relationship. Whenever two animals live together, it is known as symbiosis or symbiotic relationship. We call it symbiosis. Symbiosis, sim means united, bio means life. Whenever two organisms live together, that is called symbiotic relationship. Right? Now my question to you, Janani,
Yes, sir.
you give me some examples for symbiotic relationship that you have with other.
Algae and fungi.
Pardon?
Algae and fungi.
You have, I am asking you, Janani, and is it that you have symbiosis with algae, symbiosis with fungi? Yes or no? You have or you don't have?
Yes.
Do you have any algae growing on you?
No.
No. You are not at all related with algae?
No.
No?
Sometimes.
Naveen? Navya? Hey Navya,
Yes, sir.
are you there?
Yes, sir.
Are you in symbiotic relationship with algae? Are you in symbiotic association with the fungi? Are you in symbiotic association with bacteria? Are you in symbiotic association with virus?
No, sir.
No. Please remember, without symbiosis we cannot live. You don't have any bacteria inside your body. Navya,
Yes, sir.
you don't have any bacteria inside your body. Remember, in our body there are millions of microbes. Millions of microbes. Microbes come either bacteria or fungi or this virus, prions, viroids, like that. So, no animal on this earth can live without symbiosis. But this symbiosis is of two types. positive symbiosis and negative symbiosis. By living together, if at all we get benefit, positive. By living together, if at all we are getting harm, negative. Do you know that? You have some worms inside your element canal, Navya. Navya,
Yes, sir.
what worm you have? Which one we have? Can you, sir? Can you help your friend? Aisha, Rafa, Kavita, Janani, can you help your friend? What organs do you have inside your body living in symbiotic relationship with you? Remember, symbiotic relationship may be beneficial to one, harmful to another one, beneficial to both, harmful to both, or no effect at all. Are you having any symbiotic relationship with any animal that you live in your gut? Vishwas, Satyaraj, Rakesh, Prithviraj,
Yes, sir.
what symbiotic
Yes, sir.
relationship you have? No, don't you have? Around one ascaris in your intestine? Definitely will be having. Every one of us, human species, every one of us, we have around one in the intestine. So, this is symbiotic relationship. Of course, with this you may not get benefit, but around one is getting benefited. Am I right? Am I right? Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Rafa,
Yes, sir.
Jayasri,
Yes, sir.
Vishuta,
Sir.
Kavita, we do have different types of relationship which we are going to see here. Population interaction, species A, species B, indicated by plus symbol, means beneficial to both. It is called mutualism. Minus symbol, harmful to both, competition. Beneficial to one, species A, harmful to B, predation. Beneficial to species, harmful to B, parasitism. Species A benefited, no effect on species B, commensalism. Species A harmed and B is no affected, commensalism. All this we are going to study in our next class today, afternoon, evening at 5:30. Okay? Is it clear?